Uniting the entire community behind one film is something unprecedented and is something that all of you will want to take part of, and definitely make sure that you catch next spring.
We are extremely excited for this film.
It's definitely going to be something to look out for.
Here are just a few of the zombie YouTubers involved.
My name's Matt, and I'm playing the role of Dr. Edward Richtofen.
Greetings, 115 fans. Rat Austin 27 back here.
Hello, I'm Dave the Rave.
Hi guys, my name is Sam, or more commonly known as Fantastical. When I was told that I was given the role of my favorite character, it was amazing.
115 film represents something a lot greater than just a film.
Thank you so much for all your support, and I can't wait to show you guys what we have in store.
Clearly, the hype is beyond real. With your phenomenal help, we can make this movie come to life, so here is the breakdown.
And now comes your part. Our budget for this film is $25,000, and we need your help to get there. $5, $10, $100, $1,000. Any amount will be appreciated. And if you can't donate, then please spread the word with friends, family, co-workers, and those zombies you talk to daily.
Here, and so today we are going to be talking about the 115 film and kind of explain everything that went down and answer all the questions that you guys have been having, talk about what is going to happen from here, and kind of move forward and kind of talk about the entire situation. And so this is my statement for what happened with the film, and I just want to talk to you guys about it, heartfelt, me to you, so you kind of get an understanding of what happened and where we're going to be going from here. So first things first, before we dive into everything, I just want to say that I am extremely sorry that this film didn't come through. Me and the entire crew, we are sorry, and we realize how high your expectations were, and we had extremely high expectations too. We wanted this film to be as amazing as possible. So around last year, we came up with this idea to bring the entire community together to create a film starring zombie YouTubers for zombie fans, and to really just make this overall movement for everyone to really get behind, to really love. And we were really trying to do something amazing. And so then we got the announcement of when the DLC was going to drop exactly on that weekend, and so it canceled. We had everyone wasn't going to come out, and so with that we didn't have our cast.
Forward the 115 film. So the way I'm gonna read this is I'm gonna say everyone's name. I'm gonna read it like a script so you guys know what's going on. And guys, so keep in mind, this is a 12-page script.
What's going on, guys? It's me, JC, and welcome back to my channel once again. In today's video, I wanted to let you guys know about a super awesome community project going on by JFK Gamer. If you don't know who Jordan or JFK is, go over to the JFK Gamer on YouTube. He's a huge guy in the zombies community. But anyways, he's starting a huge zombies live action project / film, and I'm absolutely excited for it. I really am. I hope it turns out well. I wish him the best. And it's featuring many zombie YouTubers you might already know. There's so many people involved with this thing, and its real goal is to bring the community together.
The zombie community is one of, if not the most passionate communities out there in gaming. So once there was word that JFK Gamer and a few others were going to be creating a Call of Duty Zombies inspired movie, there was instantly hype built by the community, and we were all very excited. Obviously this included myself, and to great disappointment the movie was never made. In this documentary, we'll be covering almost, if not all, the details about the 115 movie and its downfall, from the humble beginnings to the bitter end. We will take a deep dive into topics such as the origins of the 115 movie. We'll be having a look at their budget and the way they were planning to spend it, along with how they're going to raise it as well. We'll be having a look and reading one of the concept scripts they had as well for the movie, and much more. Before we get into that though, it is very important to remember that this is for entertainment purposes. I will be doing my very best to back this up with facts and proper information, but if I do make a few errors on the way, I do apologize, and let me know in the comments. I am doing my very best to research this topic, and I really want to make this the best documentary it can be. But like I said, I'm only human, so if I make mistakes, let me know, and I'll pin your comments so everyone else knows as well. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, as it only takes a second, and you can unsubscribe at any time. But with that said, grab some popcorn, a nice cold drink, because it's going to be a long one. We can find where the original idea for the 115 movie sprung from the Indiegogo page that they were using to fund their project. Here we can find lots of information about the movie, and we'll be referring back to this website a lot through this documentary. But back to the origins of the 115 movie. It reads as follows. It all began at PAX East 2015. Once upon a time, 3 YouTubers, The Smith Plays, The JFK Gamer, and MC Sportshawk, were discussing Call of Duty Zombies. The idea was brought up, what if we make a zombie movie next year? Well, the rest is history. So in my personal opinion, it really just sounds like 3 guys wanting to really start this zombie movie. You got to remember this was back in 2015, and we were really peaking with zombies as we had Black Ops 3 at the time. So I can definitely understand the hype around the community at the time. With this idea in place, they started getting to work. They started working on advertisements for the movie, and they even made a teaser trailer for the movie as well. Just take a look at this.
We are nearly finished. And here is the final piece of the puzzle.
While not a lot at the time, this is all the zombie community needed to get excited. And with the amount of big influencers they had to work on this project, they definitely had the potential for this movie to reach the millions to tens of millions of views. I'm going to list off all the content creators that were supposed to be a part of this film in one way or another. MC Sportshawk, Laggin24, Lonely Mailbox, The Smith Plays, Mr. T Lexify, Drifter, Swifters, Rad Austin 27, Fantastical Gamer, Johnny J 25, Jimbathy, Mr. Dave the Rave, 2Pro4U Games, OGX Ray Z, ZCT X Chaos, Rezard Feed, Conway, Novura, That Guy Who Camps, JC Backfire, Nick That Gaming Show, Zeba, Zakix TV, Super Rebel, and more. They list off more than 20 people in this listing for content creators that were going to be involved in the film. So the overall reach for this project was going to be massive. I could just imagine this film being uploaded to every one of these channels and every one of them audiences seeing it. It would have been amazing. And who knows, it might have been one of the YouTube movies done right. But like I said, the origins of the 115 movie all come down to simple factors. A group of friends wanting to make a movie about a game that they were passionate about. But they were going to need a budget, and that is what we're going to be talking about next. Every movie needs a budget, and the 115 movie was going to be no different. And they're going to need quite a big one for all the YouTubers they were flying out. They were going to need $25,000. I'm now going to read a few paragraphs off the Indiegogo page referring to the money. In order to create this film, we need a budget of $25,000. The more funds, the better the movie. We need you to help this film come to life. Every penny of this campaign will go to the creation of this film, and then any excess money we make will be directly donated to the Call of Duty Foundation. This is a non-profit film, and the entire goal is to simply make a movie that the community has been demanding for years. The donations are part of the reason we are so excited. If you donate, you have the ability to receive autographed scripts and posters from the YouTube team, get limited edition t-shirts, play with your favorite YouTubers, receive a used prop from the film, and even star in the film. If you notice the Indiegogo video, our director was wearing the 115 shirt. These next few paragraphs are captioned under what happens if the zombies attack, and I believe they are referring to if the movie does not do well in terms of getting money. 115 is a short film made by extremely talented individuals and filmmakers, but with all movies, there is a chance that certain obstacles could be encountered. Firstly, if we are unable to raise enough funds, there will be a clearly impacted film. The community deserves the best, and we intend to bring that, but if we are unable to have the necessary props, equipment, food, and more, it will show in the final product. In a later paragraph as well, they say what we can do. The cast and crew of 115 would be extremely grateful if we'd be able to donate as much as you possibly could to the project. Any amount truly helps, whether that is $5, $10, $50, $100, or even $1,000. We truly hope to give back to you for what you give to make this film possible. With Indiegogo as well, you can select perks, which we're going to read off now. These are essentially donations you can make, and you'll get a certain reward depending on how much you donate. All these perks have different names as well. For example, the first one for $1 is called Welcome to the Apocalypse. And with this, you get a personalized thank you email alongside your name in the credits of the film. Then moving on to $5, which is called Zombie Lover. Become an extra in 115. You'll also receive a personalized thank you with behind the scenes photography. Then moving on to the next one, which is $15, and it is called Undead Admirer. And this one's going to give you all of the above alongside a special blooper reel featuring all your favorite zombie YouTubers on set and during action sequences. Then moving on to the next one for $30, and it's called Brains. All of the above alongside an early digital download of the script and the final 115 film. The next perk you can get for $40 will give you all of the above alongside an autographed script with every YouTuber and member of the cast and crew. The next donation you can make, The Survivor, for $50, play with YouTubers from the 115 film, the JFK Gamer, Resource Feed, Johnny J 25, Mr. Dave the Rave, Fantastical Gamer, MC Sportshawk, and so many more. You will also receive the ability to be an extra in the film, a personalized thank you, digital download of the script, and BTS/blooper reel. Then moving on to the $50 perk you can get, which is Community Supporter. You will receive an exclusive autographed poster from every YouTuber and cast/crew member. A personalized thank you with the BTS blooper reel will also be included. The next perk, upgrading the Catalysm for $75. You receive an exclusive 115 t-shirt alongside the ability to be an extra in the film. You will also require the personalized thank you, digital download, and BTS/blooper reel from the film. Moving on to the $100 donation you can make called Grand A Survivor, you will receive the incredible t-shirt alongside the 115 poster, a personalized thank you, the ability to be an extra, digital download, and BTS/blooper reel will also be included. Moving on to the $200 donation called Undead Horde Hunter. This reward is awesome as you'll receive a prop from the movie used in the film. The props include the Wonder Weapon, perk machines, costumes, and more. Only a limited number are available, so hurry. You will also receive the digital download, personalized thank you, ability to be an extra, and BTS/blooper reel. Now moving on to the $500 donation, the Squad Leader. As a Squad Leader, you'll receive a prop from the film, t-shirt, poster, play your favorite YouTuber, have the ability to be an extra, and even the BTS/blooper reel. Moving on to the $1,000 donation you can make, Orchestrator of Annihilation. You will receive all of the above, hoorah, alongside getting associate producer credits in the final film. And now moving on to the last one, which is $10,000, Apocalyptic Immunity. The greatest reward of all, you have the ability to star in the movie alongside your favorite zombie YouTubers. We will fly you out to Boston for filming alongside, show you around set and get you involved in the 115 process. Housing and food not included. So this is their plans for the budget, and to be honest, a lot of the perks you can access for this are actually quite good. And back then, I probably would have used my money to buy some of these as well. Obviously not the one for 10 fucking grand, but I would have bought some of them. The most popular perk you could get for this is Zombie Lover, which again was $5. Become an extra in 115, you will also receive a personalized thank you with behind the scenes photography, and 52 people actually claim this. So with the amount of people they had behind them to help, and the amount of cool donation ideas they had, you'd think they'd be able to get 25 grand quite easily. Well, you would be mistaken, because according to Indiegogo, they only ever reached $5,050. But alas, that is 1/5 of the film budget actually paid. So that is not too good for the JFK gamer. Something else that is important is to look what they were actually going to use the budget on. And we're going to be talking about how realistic a lot of these actually were. First of all, we have production design, which was $3,000. Then we had tickets for $10,000 to fly everyone out. Equipment was also $10,000. Location was $300. Transportation was $200. Crash services was $1,000. Soundtrack was $500. And that adds up to a total of $25,000. Now for the most part, this budget actually looks quite accurate to what a short movie would be, because with short movies, each minute should be roughly around the 500 to 1,500 mark, leading the movies to actually cost around the $25,000 mark, depending on how long they are. And obviously the big part of the budget is going on to get everyone out there, because we have at least 20 YouTubers, even plus that, coming out to this event to record. So if we're taking in the factors of all the things that are actually going to be in the movie, like production design, that's going to be obviously $3,000. And then we look at equipment, $10,000. Obviously location, $300. And then soundtrack is going to be $500. We're adding that all up together and we're gonna get $13,800. So that's a fair chunk going towards the actual movie. There is one thing in particular I am quite curious about. I did in fact invite the JFK Gamer on for an interview, but I still not gotten a reply. So if I do get one and we do an interview, it'll be over this. But if not, then you're gonna be hearing my theory here. The location budget for $300 is really low. By researching online, I found around the rough mark of how much you should be paying is around the $2,000 to $3,000 mark. And that's per day to keep in mind. So maybe they got an absolute steal for the price of $300. So if the JFK Gamer is watching this, then please comment below on how you got that deal. That would clear up a lot about the budget stuff. The rest of the budget stuff makes complete sense. I understand the rest of it, but the location is just really low for the movie you're trying to film. But to finish off talking about the budget, their budget was quite reasonable that they were aiming for. And a lot of the perks you could buy had reasonable rewards. Sure, there were some things like the $10,000 one where obviously you got a star in the film, you got to meet your favorite content creators and all that good stuff, but still $10,000, almost half of the budget for the movie coming from one person. So let's just say that they actually got the money for the movie. What was the 115 movie going to be about? Well, that's going to be the next part of the documentary. We are going to talk about what the movie was originally supposed to be about, and we're also going to have a look at one of the scripts for the movie. And this is going to be one that Mr. T-Lexify read on stream. Now, it's worth noting that this probably wasn't going to be the final script in the movie. From a comment from the JFK Gamer replying to one of his comments of his 115 apology video, a comment left by Alui619 had a very interesting thread. The thread starts off like this: after seeing Lex read the script, I'm glad it didn't get made. The JFK Gamer responds, they were literally never sent a script, lol. Then Anything comments back, at JFK Gamer, so then how did Lex get a 12-page script? Did he just write it and push the blame onto you? anything. There was a script written, but it was consistently in rewrites, and what he read was not at all what was going to be shot. Anything commented back, okay, my bad then, thanks for clearing that up, appreciate it. So with that said, he has somewhat commented on the fact that there is a script out there that was originally not supposed to be for the movie, but a concept script, so as I'm reading this, keep that in mind. And it's also worth noting that the Indiegogo page actually has a description of what the film was originally going to be about as well. So before we read the script, we'll read this first. 115 is a non-profit live-action zombie fan parody film that tells the story of our 4 main heroes being teleported back in time to Paris, France. Faced with enemies and friends from the past and future, our heroes must fight their way through the undead to make it through the night alive. Full of action, comedy, suspense, and horror, the 115 truly captures the essence of zombies in an engaging fan film based in the same universe but telling an entirely new story. 115 is extremely pro-community and is a non-profit, and we plan on donating any excess funding directly to Call of Duty Endowment. With that official source from the Indiegogo page, we will now read this so-called script. That was most likely a concept script for the movie, but it should give us an idea of where the movie was really heading. 115, a live-action zombie movie by the zombie community. Call of Duty Zombies, storage room. The screen is black, not just your average black, but the heavy black one experiences when they are in a comatose sleep. All of a sudden, a neon blue light explodes into frame. The blinding obscurity of the light fills the frame, the viewer trying to find a focus point, and the only thing quite visible is the number 115, spiraling down with the tunnel of light. 4 dark figures slam down through the tunnel. The light slowly fades back to black, and the quiet clank of a 1920s vodka glass is heard. Where are we? Nikolai says while slurring his words. Richtofen, what the fuck did you do now? Says Dempsey. Richtofen says then, oh Dempsey, I wish I knew, but I love being in this big, dark area. Dempsey mumbles pervert. Dempsey, get your hand off me, Takio says. Whilst Richtofen is giggling, he says that's not Dempsey. Warehouse. The door to the storage room flings open and out stomps Tank Dempsey. 19 years old, tall, blonde, full of hopeless aspiration. He has an obscured amount of muscle mass for a young adult. Following him walks out Nikolai Belinsky, wearing traditional Russian garb. Nikolai reeks of aged vodka, horseradish, and washed up prostitutes. Not again, Dempsey says. Takumasaki comes flying out behind the 2 heroes. Dressed in obscurely stereotypical Japanese attire, his long katana sling flails behind his back. Finally strolls Edward Richtofen, short, lanky like a grasshopper, and pale as a ghost. His ego is so excessive, one could poke a hole and little Eddie would flow out. He carries a small black triangle in his hand. Richtofen, where are we? What kind of stinking mission are we on now? Nikolai says. The 4 heroes glance at each other, with every awkward second slowly realizing what has occurred. It seems as if we have traveled back in time, reversing our age. Gah. How lovely. Richtofen's voice squeaks more than Alvin in the 6 months going through puberty. I swear to God, Takio says. Oh, hello Edward. Coming from Maxis. Richtofen whips his head around like Willow Smith. Welcome to 48.8567N 2.3508E. You may be wondering, how did we get here? Me, are you in the past or the future? Both. Maxis says. From the darkness steps out Dr. Maxis, brooding and full of sincere arrogance. Maxis scrolls towards the group. Ah, nice to see you again, old buddy, Maxis says. What? Richtofen? Who is this pig? Nikolai says. He has not told you, Maxis says. Oh, I am his dear pal Maxis. Maxis finally reaches Richtofen and places a hand on his shoulder ever so daintily. All of a sudden, in the distance, a quiet sound of footsteps is heard approaching. Hello, Nikolai says. In for a penny? In for a pound, Takio responds. Tak, what the fuck? Dempsey says. Richtofen glances around in a paranoid manner. Maxis then goes on to say, who are your friends? Richtofen responds, friends, yes, that's what they are. The footsteps progressively get loud, and all of a sudden Dr. Harvey Yenna appears. I know it was you, Edward, Harvey says. Why now? Richtofen responds. Harvey then goes on to say, if we are to have a meetup, now's the time. You never respected me, yet I did far more than anything you could have made. Without hesitation, an alive Puke McCain comes flying towards the squad. Puke McCain says, "Hey, doctors, remember me? Jesus McCain, how the fuck are you alive?" Dempsey says. Puke McCain responds, "Time travel woobly bullshit. That is how." Richtofen then goes on to say, "Too bad you were a horrible spy." Richtofen pulls out a gun and shoots McCain dead. He falls down in a heap of mass to the cold, hard surface. Nikolai says, "I need more vodka." Nikolai starts to walk away from the group, stumbling a little along his path. As he is walking, he spots a boarded up window. "Oh, I wonder what's behind here," Nikolai says. Richtofen takes the black triangle pyramid out of his pocket. Nikolai proceeds to lean up against the window whilst the undead horde approaches. Nikolai then goes on to say, "Frickin' Germans." One breaks through the barrier next to Nikolai. Richtofen says, "Shit." "Oh god," Maxis says. Dempsey then goes on to say, "What the?" Nikolai goes on to say, Oh shit." Dempsey then goes on to say, "You hollowed out maggot brain." Hari responds with, "Well." Takeo goes on to say, "How fucked are we?" Nikolai then responds saying, "We've dealt with worse." A zombie mime begins to run towards the building alongside multiple dead creatures. Nikolai says, "Nope, we have never had worse." Harvey says, "What do we do?" Dempsey says, "Do what we always do, except this time it'll be harder." Maxis goes on to say, "Consider this a one-time thing. I just want my daughter safe." Richtofen then responds, "You look her age." The group pose up in a badass way to slay the undead. Nikolai is shooting out of the window with the scavenger. He then takes notice and goes to him. Harvey says, "So like, how do you like it?" Nikolai then responds, "It's good gun. Kills zombies nice." Harvey then says, "Hear that, Richtofen? He likes my gun." In the distance, Takeo runs next to Dempsey to provide some cover from the bombardment of zombies that approach. Takeo then says, "Dempsey, the light, the box." Dempsey then says, "No shit, Tak." Takeo and Dempsey dispatch the zombies like it's their jobs, while currently it's due to the fact that the only job is to survive. Maxis says, "You used to be so much more intelligent, Edward." Richtofen then responds, "Frickin' German." Oh wait. Edward runs off, trailing Dempsey and Takeo as he grabs a Bowie knife. Storage room. Lightning begins to swirl again. The sounds of teleporting silence the sounds of gargling zombies. Conspiracy. "This is another damn conspiracy," Stuhlinger says. Marlton then says, "Stu, you are screaming again." Misty then says, "You are a buffoon." Stuhlinger then says, "What did I ever do to you?" Misty says, "Exist." Marlton then says, "If my calculations are correct, the more arguing we do, the lesser our chances of survival." Misty then responds, "They would be better if Stuhlinger didn't eat Russman." Russman then says, "Hello, I'm alive, guys." Misty then says, "How? What? Never mind, let's go." Warehouse. Misty then says, Do you hear that?" Stuhlinger says, "Guns, bullets, meat, gah, the flesh." Marlton then says, "Stuhlinger, get a hold of yourself." Misty then says, "I don't think we're alone." All of a sudden, a zombie comes sprinting at them. Marlton then says, "Shit." Misty smacks the zombie in the face, then shoots the brain. Misty says, "No, it's okay. I'll take care of it." Russman then says, "Holy shit, we are young." Stuhlinger then says, "I've never looked so good." Misty says, "Exactly, you never will." Marlton then says, "So incredible. The time travel must have been..." Misty says, "Enough, nerd. Time to survive." More zombies charge at them, and we cut back to Richtofen. The zombie slaying for the group continues as more and more yellow-eyed zombies pour in. Takeo and Dempsey round a corner and find themselves face to face with a glowing box. Dempsey then says, "Let's get it." Dempsey runs over and opens it to a variety of guns, landing on the Python pistol. Dempsey then says, "Really? Fucking piece of shit." Dempsey turns and runs past Takeo. Takeo waits for the box, and all of a sudden a zombie comes and bites his neck, killing him. Takeo then says, "Dempsey, I'm down." Dempsey is too invested in his slaying, cannot hear Takeo. Richtofen runs past and looks at Takeo lying on the ground. Over the box floats the Wonderwolf DG2. As it slowly makes its way back into the box of wonder, Richtofen then runs past, grabbing the gun and tramples along. Richtofen then says, "Ah, wunderbar." At this point, our heroes are scattered. Samantha Maxis laughs every so often, making sure our protagonists are terrified. Back with our new group, the team kills the last zombie. Stuhlinger then says, I wonder where we are. Marlton then says, or rather when we are. Misty then goes on to say, all I know is that I am sick of this shit. Stuhlinger then says, well, I think we best be figuring out what the government did to us. Rustman then says, what? Then Stuhlinger says, clearly this is not real. Misty then responds, our best bet is to try and find the others here. Stuhlinger then says, aliens. Marlton says, humans. Rustman says, let's go. The group treks off. Dark hallway. Maxis had sped off and arrived at the dark hallway. With lights flickering, he pulls out a red flare that shines bright in the room. Maxis says, walking forward. Face illuminated, he reaches the end of a hall. There, he has seen a panel on the wall. Maxis then says, let's get a little more power, shall we? Maxis flings on the power, sending a bolt of electricity throughout the warehouse. Richtofen makes it towards the outside again and they all regroup. Richtofen then says, you think I care about you zombies? Dempsey says to Nikolai, I bet the doc has a pull up his ass. Nikolai then says, aye, comedy Dempsey, nice one. In Soviet Russia, my ex-wife told me a joke once, she's dead now. Nikolai and Dempsey whirl around when they hear a small jingle turns on. The group sees Maxis, who is stood in front of the tarp. Winking at the group, he flings it off to reveal Juggernaut. Dempsey then says, hey Jugger girl. Dempsey and Yenna go over and get soda from the machine. Nikolai then says, I don't know why people don't prepare. Nikolai opens his sack, revealing all of his Coca-Colas. Care to drink, Nikolai says. The members all drink up, tossing drinks away. They turn around to see a huge horde of zombies approaching. Richtofen then says, yeah, let's slay the undead. Porter emerges from the shadows. Porter says, well. Richtofen then says, is that Porter? Porter then says, you got that right, chums. Nikolai then says, who? Harvey then says, the guns. Your guns, stupid Russian. Porter walks towards them, revealing the wave gun. Porter then says, you ready for something cool? Blurring the wave gun and exploding the zombies on impact. The pieces go everywhere. Maxis then says, well that was. Dempsey then says, cool. The team recuperates from the badass and proceed to charge towards the impending horde. Once again, the team takes care of the undead. Dempsey then says, now would be a nice time to teleport, right guys? Nikolai then says, oh, it's funny, right? Nikolai is still somehow drunk. Porter then says, oh, you don't know this version can do that? Porter clicks the gun, and everyone anxiously anticipates amazing. Nothing happens. Porter then says, I love my little jokes. Stuhlinger, Marlton, and Misty all walk into the area where the other heroes are. Marlton then whispers, what do you think we should do? Stuhlinger whispers, they look like humans to me. Misty then whispers, let's just see. Harvey then says, Maxis, any plans? Maxis then says, survive. Nikolai then says, Richtofen, any better plans? Richtofen then says, I always have a plan. Samantha Maxis then says, Eddie, you lie. In a bottle of lightning, Samantha comes flying down. She faces the entire team, eyes radiating yellow. She points her pistol towards Edward. Everyone has now wet their pants. Fades to black. So after reading the script, I think we can all say that it was kind of mediocre. Obviously this wasn't going to be the last script they're going to actually use for the movie, but I think it would be something along them lines. Listening back to that, you guys must have been pretty bored. My reading probably didn't help too much, but you kind of get the point. The movie script really wasn't that great. We did have a wide variety of characters, and I think the movie would have set to do what a normal game of zombie kind of does. In this movie, obviously players are going to be able to go down, the mystery box was going to be there, same with perks, as we could see in the Indiegogo page as well. But from the sounds of it, the movie probably wouldn't have been that great even if it actually happened. So now that we've read the concept script, and we know that the movie probably would have been that great even if it actually happened, let's talk about why the movie actually didn't happen. With the 115 movie obviously not happening, they clearly needed to make a statement about the film not being made. This was when the JFK Gamer made this apology video. In this apology video, he talks about all the reasons why the movie doesn't happen, and it ranges from a number of things. I'm going to show you guys the most important parts of the video so we can have an understanding from the JFK Gamer's point of view on why the movie never actually happened.
What's going on, guys? Jordan here, and so today we are going to be talking about the 115 film and kind of explain everything that went down and answer all the questions that you guys have been having, talk about what is going to happen from here, and kind of move forward and kind of talk about the entire situation. And so this is my statement for what happened with the film, and I just want to talk to you guys about it, heartfelt, me to you, so you kind of get an understanding of what happened and where we're going to be going from here. So first things first, before we dive into everything, I just want to say that I am extremely sorry that this film didn't come through. Me and the entire crew, we are sorry, and we realize how high your expectations were, and we had extremely high expectations too. We wanted this film to be as amazing as possible, and we were really looking forward to it, and due to some circumstances that we're going to be talking about, the film didn't happen, and so we're sorry that we couldn't deliver the film to you that we had promised. So we hope that you understand what went down, and so that way from here we can move forward, think of new ideas, and continue expanding this amazing community that we are already in. So once the Indiegogo finished, what happens is that they take a percentage of what you earned. That's how all the crowdfunding websites work, and then they took a little bit more due to the fact that we didn't reach our goal, and so with that we kind of still went forward. We did reach into some problems in terms of script development and production, but we kept pushing forward and we kept grinding to make this film possible, working with all the other YouTubers, the zombie guys. We all tried to do the best that we could in our own individual abilities to make this film possible. So once DLC got released for Black Ops, we realized that there was the potential for PAX East problems. We knew when PAX East was going to be, and we were planning on that weekend. I had spent money getting a location for us. We had spent money on the budget, so we were really kind of going forward, and we thought that we were going to be still getting on this weekend. We were planning for it. We were having crew meetings, everything like that. And so then we got the announcement of when the DLC was going to drop exactly on that weekend, and so it canceled. We had everyone wasn't going to come out, and so with that we didn't have our cast, and so we realized that this film, we would either have to push it back or we would have to do something. And so throughout the summer we've been playing with the ideas of potentially making the movie, whether we pushed it back or not, and we really hadn't been able to think through and develop what our next moves were, and so we came to the long conclusion that it was indeed time to cancel the film. Not completely close to the possibility of doing a movie down the line, but for right now the film got closed, and so that was really disheartening for myself and for a lot of fans, because obviously we wanted this movie to happen, and so it stunk because we had spent so much time and energy behind it, and we realized that just the smallest things can make a whole movement derail.
So the JFK Gamer states many reasons why the movie didn't happen. First of all is going to be Zetsubo no Shima, as it was going to release on the date that they were actually going to be filming the movie. So none of the zombie YouTubers actually turned up. Or at least that's what he says. Another reason why the movie didn't happen as well was because the budget was so low. They didn't raise nearly enough for what they were wanting to do with the movie, so it was going to make it a lot more difficult to actually make the film. I think when it comes down to it as well, the reason this movie didn't happen was very poor planning. I think what ended up happening is that they bit off more than they could chew. I think getting a bunch of YouTubers to do a movie is great, especially something in the zombie community. We've seen that with Killing Time Bro. That was a great success in terms of YouTubers coming together and making something for the community to enjoy. But that happened in a different time and a different place. This movie was supposed to be a lot more, I feel like, and they just couldn't get it done. With the DLC coming out, it made things so much more complicated because as a zombie YouTuber at the time in Black Ops 3, that was the peak for us. After Rise and Draka, we were expecting a lot with Zetsubo no Shima. We can't actually blame zombie YouTubers for wanting to make zombie content on launch, as it is the main content that they actually play and upload videos on. So when it comes down to the very basics of the 115 movie, I think a group of passionate people wanted to make a film about the game they love. The idea sounded great in their head, and they were ready to go forward with it full force. They had somewhat of a plan of what they were going to be doing. They wanted to get a YouTube cast, they had a budget, they had a plan, but when it came down to the very end of it, some bad luck and overall poor planning ended up killing the movie from actually happening. Some people are going to say that the movie didn't happen because of bad luck. Some people are going to say the movie didn't happen because it was a scam plan from the start. But I believe it was, at the end of the day, just friends wanting to make a movie, but it just didn't work out. They had a budget that they couldn't even reach. They were nowhere near close enough to the money they needed for the film. Some donations were absurdly high that you can make, like the 10 grand one. That is a ridiculous amount of money to ask from someone, in my personal opinion. The fact that you had 20 plus YouTubers involved in this and none of them turned up whatsoever, that is just something that isn't sitting right there with me if I'm being completely honest. The script we do have out as well was pretty mediocre. It was not a great read, and as you guys know, as you just listened to me reading it off for you guys are probably bored to death now after that. And then obviously with the apology video, there is some substance there in terms of an actual apology and reasoning, but again, something just doesn't feel right with that. I don't know if the JFK Gamer was being 100% genuine. Again, I think the basis of what happened was friends went to make a film, it didn't work out. Maybe there were some things that happened in between that I'm just not aware of. But these are the fundamental reasons why the 115 movie never happened, and why it's the COD zombie movie you never got to see.